Hey everyone, welcome to Modern Work Mondays for Retail. I am your host, Nolan Wheeler, and with me, we always have
Jeff Strasser with Microsoft.
Jeff. I don't know, did you get sick? I came back from NRF. I avoided it. You okay?
I avoided it. There's a lot of it floating around for sure, but somehow we worked some magic and knock on wood, so far so good.
Beautiful. So we left off in the last video. We shot that at the Samsung booth. We're talking about radio purgatory. But we're still coming back, and there's so much interest on Teams and like the next steps for us for Teams with different customers. But the radio is kind of interesting. Let's maybe dive into what people maybe missed if they were able to come to NRF or those two booths.
Yeah, it was an amazing event. Lots of activity, lots of conversations, a lot of interest in really starting to invest in store solutions for store operations and to serve customers better, serve employees better, and mobile compute and modern devices in people's hands is wonderful. But as we talked about in the last video, the cost of entry is pretty steep, and so bridging that gap between voice and the legacy radios that exist in stores today and modern technologies and how new methods of operating store tasks and serving customers better is key. And you guys did a wonderful job. I'll give you all the credit in the world. We were kind of shepherding people over to see the demo that your team built to integrate a modern experience with Teams and kind of on modern mobile compute, Zebra, Samsung, et cetera, with the legacy radio technology. And we had lots of great conversations, and there was a lot of interest in looking at it further.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, and maybe what we'll do is we'll put a link to some of the videos that show that Teams experience, even with something as simple as like a call button or something like our Order Up platform, which allows people to get service out of a lock and showcase. But there was a couple cool demos that we're able to show, and I happen to have one here. Like this is like an old radio that we had to, I think it was a store that got off their radios and went on Teams. And I said, hey, what are you doing with those radios? And we went and grabbed them out of the banana box in the back room, and we took a couple. But, just taking a basic radio and viewing a couple things, and we'd love to just do a demo on this call, a product inquiry, which is kind of like, some of the things that you can do with like a software-defined radio that you've never been able to do with this stuff. And maybe even just like an agentic AI demo of like just asking a general question that has nothing to do with like stock on hands and APIs dependent on those.
Yeah, and that's it. Like taking that hands-free existing equipment and being able to modernize it with agents, with kind of a digital experience, better for the customer, better for the employee. But it also can enable so many more innovations. Like as you think about other sensors in the stores or issues that may pop up, if you've got refrigerated equipment and inventory, and there's sensors and triggers that are going off and alerting store staff that hey, maybe somebody left the door open, the potential loss that's avoided by those sorts of things. And they're not complex, and the sensors to enable them are not difficult, but you need that mechanism to connect it to the employee who's walking the floor, interacting with customers, but also able to engage with systems. And yeah, really only until we've had kind of generative AI, the understanding of language through these language models, can we map that voice experience without being like really defined in like question answer kind of bot scenarios, and really make it much more open-ended to what the conversation is and how the system can interact with it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so why don't we just do a couple demos on the radio and just show folks what they would have missed. So this first one's easy. This is just an API that calls on in-store inventory. So it's locked to the store. So I've got a product number that I've been using here. So let's do an inquiry here. So inventory inquiry, DeWalt DCD 793 D120.
There are currently 3 units of DeWalt DCD 793 D120 volt cordless drill in stock.
And then, the other thing that's really interesting is that, that's a call that goes out to say, well, here's something that's unique to the store. So let's just direct this to an API and let's say what the inventory levels are. But the other part of it is that, it's really what we've done here. It's kind of like bring your agent, right? So it's like we're not going to be able to be everything to all people, especially within the agent world. So all we did with this next demo is we're just calling on the Azure OpenAI API that's available out there. So for this one here, I'm just going to ask like a regular question. So I'm an associate, and I want to know what the stat holiday is in the US for February. So our agent is called Toby. So as soon as I use the words, hey, Toby, that'll prompt the direction of this prompt to go and hit that API. So Hey, Toby, when is the next statutory holiday, February 2025?
Yes, in February 2025, the statutory holiday in the United States is President's Day on February 17th.
Monday, 17th. So that's just like kind of an example of like we can do something that's very simple with a store API, or we just kind of send it anywhere. So really what we're trying to do at Sync is be the conduit, and really what we're trying to do with you guys, of course, Jeff, is let's allow folks to leverage Teams when they can, but all of a sudden when they have that delta in hardware or in licenses, let's make sure that they have a bridge to get there and to get out of what we called radio purgatory from NRF.
You got it. We got to continue to drive the experience forward. And so as we can find solutions to do that more cost effectively, but using modern technologies and ways of interacting with the back office and the operations, it's just going to be better for the business and better for the customer.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Jeff. Another Modern Work Monday in the books. I'll see you next week.
Sounds great.